This is
Make it plain.
Make it plain.
MIP
With Masamela Matfumo.
Mark Thompson.
Make it plain.
Get woke.
Do you ever feel like life is a never-ending series of lessons while you try to find purpose, meaning, and answers? I am Vanessa Fontana, the host of Figuring Shit Out, a podcast where we undertake self-help, coming of age, and healing. As I live my 20s in New York City figuring shit out myself, I've realized that if you spend your whole life trying to get your act together, you don't have a life. You have an act. On Figuring Shit Out, every Sunday, you get to normalize the journey of not knowing and be guided into living your life with more intention and ease.
Good morning once again, everyone. Happy Kwanzaa. We greet one another today on the second day of Kwanzaa, December 27th, with the greeting of Habari, Gani, what's the news? The response is the word, the principle for self-determination, which is Kujichagulia. And who better to have join us once again, as always, during this very special holiday, this very special week, none other than the professor and chair of Africana Studies at California State University, Long Beach, the executive director of the African American Cultural Center, US, and of course, he is the creator of Kwanzaa and the Nguzo Saba, author of the definitive work, Kwanzaa, A Celebration of Family, Community, and Culture, and also the author of Introduction to Black Studies, and now in its fourth edition, Dr. Maulana Karenga joins us once again here on Make It Plain. Dr. Karenga, Habari, Gani.
Umoja, Habari, Gani. Masamela, it's good to be again here, and welcome Karibuni to your audience. And we say we wish for them blessings without number and all good things without end on this day of Kujichagulia and all through Kwanzaa. The second principle, Kujichagulia, of Kwanzaa means self-determination. And we say that it means to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Kujichagulia, self-determination, reaffirms a fundamental principle and practice of the right of every people to determine their own destiny in daily life, to live free in their own place, space, and time. And it reaffirms a right to resist all forms of unfreedom, injustice, evil, and oppression. It reaffirms Nana Haji Malcolm X's teaching that, quote, freedom is essential to life. Freedom is essential to the development of the human being. And if we don't have freedom, we can never expect justice and equality. Indeed, only after freedom, he said, do justice and equality become a reality in the fullest sense of the principle and practice. So Kujichagulia, self-determination, teaches us to define ourselves, right? To name ourselves. I repeat, to create for ourselves and to speak for ourselves. To define ourselves means to define ourselves by the good we do and the dignity-bearing way we walk in the world. To name ourselves means to, in reverent respect for our history and culture and our highest values, to give ourselves names that are dignity-affirming, life-enhancing, and point toward the future we need to create. To create for ourselves means to create for ourselves in dignity-affirming, life-enhancing, and world-preserving ways of our ancestors. And to speak for ourselves means to speak in ways that bring forth the best of our culture and reaffirms our ancient and ongoing commitment to bring and share good in the world. Kujichagulia also teaches us that we must constantly dialogue with our culture, asking it questions and seeking from it answers to our continuous quest to live full, free, and meaningful lives, and to make a worthy contribution to the ongoing struggle to bring and sustain and increase good in the world. These questions that we ask and seek answers to are questions that confront our people all over the world, this society, and the world. And we must have an African answer to it. And there's no richer or more ancient source than our own culture and history. For we are an ancient people. We are the fathers and mothers of not only of humanity, but of human civilization. As I always say, we stood up first, spoke the first human truth, introduced some of the basic disciplines of human knowledge in the Nile Valley, and taught the world who is good and beautiful. Concepts like humans are worthy of the highest respect because they are in the image of the divine, in the image of God. Second, we taught the world the concept of dignity, the inherent worthiness of every human being. And this inherent worthiness has three characteristics. It is first transcendent of all social and biological categories like race and class and gender and sexuality and age and ability, etc. Second, is equal in all. No one is superior. No one is more chosen than anyone else. For our ancestors taught, we're all divinely chosen. Chosen not over and against anyone, but chosen with everyone to do what? To bring good into the world and not let any good be lost. And third, this inherent worthiness, this dignity in the ancient Egyptian language called shepesu. It means it is inalienable. It is transcendent. It is equal in all, and it is inalienable. Inalienable, no one can take it from you. And in fact, you can't even give it away. So let us speak our own special cultured truth and make our own unique contribution to the expansion of human freedom and justice in the world, and imagine a whole new world and bring it into being in the most ethical, effective, and expansive ways. Hotel.
Do you ever feel like life is a never-ending series of lessons while you try to find purpose, meaning, and answers? I am Vanessa Fontana, the host of Figuring Shit Out, a podcast where we undertake self-help, coming of age, and healing. As I live my 20s in New York City figuring shit out myself, I've realized that if you spend your whole life trying to get your act together, you don't have a life. You have an act. On Figuring Shit Out, every Sunday, you get to normalize the journey of not knowing and be guided into living your life with more intention and ease.
Dr. Karenga, I'd be remiss as you describe our contribution as African people to the defining of the very principle of self-determination and freedom and justice and equality throughout the world. Is that precisely why it is innate, inborn in us to internalize and be concerned about some of the struggles going on in the world today? Whether they be those struggles going on the front page in Palestine, or our desire to hear more about the struggles in Africa that the news does not report, Sudan and the Congo. You know,
Yeah.
I find people, people like you and me are perpetually in the struggle. But of late, I'm hearing from people who don't necessarily engage in revolutionary struggle every day, but they're so moved, so caught up in what's happening in these parts of the world and just can't be still and must do something about it. Is that not innate in us to be that way as African people?
As African people and as human beings. And I'm going to talk about it in greater detail in my presentation of the principle of Ujima, collective work and responsibility to build the good world we all want and deserve to live in. And yes, we cannot fully human if we are not sensitive to the suffering of other human beings. And one of the things that you notice about the non-human aspect, if people can actually kill people without consciousness, commit genocide without even caring about it, actually advertise it, right? That's a big problem. And it's up to us who are moral and social vanguard, respected all over the world, to be conscious of that, to speak truth to the people and to power. Notice I always say speak truth to the people first, because unless you speak truth to the power, to the people, you can't confront the power in an effective way. So speak truth to the people. Let them know how important it is for us to bring forth the best of what it means to be African and human in the fullest sense of the word, as you just suggested. We must constantly know to be African means to be excellent. And the first excellence is moral excellence, always grounded in intellectual excellence, rational excellence, right? But especially the excellence of feeling a moral sensitivity toward other human beings, the world and all in it. That's African. That's a fundamental defining feature of what it means to be African. Because, again, we are, we are, in fact, not just human beings, Watu in Swahili, the word for human being is Watu, people, right? But we're also Walimwengu, that means world being. So we're human beings and world beings, and we must always keep that in consciousness. And one of the beautiful things about Haji Malcolm, he always taught us to see ourselves in the world, right? And to see ourselves playing a significant role in the transformation of the world. We, he said, belong to the rising tide of human history. And we must never forget that. Don't let them ghettoize us, marginalize us, or snatch our identity from us. We must return to ourselves, he said, and culturally ground ourselves in African values, the best of what it means to be African and human in the world.
Habari Gani, the greeting today, folks. Once again, Kujichagulia. Tomorrow is Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We'll hear more. Don't go away. Stay tuned every day this week of Kwanzaa. We invite you also to visit so you can learn more for yourself, learn how to celebrate the holiday, learn how to use the tools that the holiday involves as well, whether it be the mats, the symbols, all of those things are available right there for you at officialkwanzaawebsite.org. And of course, the definitive work, Kwanzaa, a celebration of family, community, and culture. Dr. Maulana Karenga, the creator of Kwanzaa, and then Nguzo Saba, our guests all week during Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa, everyone. Thanks for getting woke and listening to Make It Plain. As always, perform an act of kindness on behalf of an elder or young person. Write a letter to a sister or brother who just so happens to find her or himself incarcerated. Offer libations to the ancestors upon whose sturdy shoulders we all now stand. And above all, give thanks to the God of your understanding by whatever name you call her and him. All God asks of us is that we give each other love. Thanks for giving MIP love. And please remember to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. If all hearts and minds are clear, it has been made plain.